We are on a mission to find Suzanne. We're searching everywhere, nonstop, for any clues that will lead us to her. Please help us get the word out by sharing this post, remembering her face, and being vigilant and aware. And please, if you see or hear anything, call the tip line immediately. 719-312-7530. Even the smallest tip could be the one that gets us closer. All who know Suzanne know her as the most beautiful person inside and out. She's selfless, caring, kind, and loving. Family and friends are tired and hurting, but we're strong and will not give up looking until she's found. Please help us keep Suzanne's photo out there. The more people who see, the better. Thanks for your support from the whole Morphew family. Again, the FBI tip line, 719-312-7530.
If anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you. We miss you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. And I want you back so bad.
Barry.
Cupcakes, dreamers, piñata, balloons,
Barry.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dusty Draper, and this is the 321 report. I think it's episode 25. That sounds about right. Welcome. If any of you are here for the first time, I'm sorry, because you'll probably be lost. Because this is part 2 of I don't know how many parts, because this thing just keeps going and going. But it is part 2 of the Morphew family timeline. And what we talked about in part 1, you can go back and watch on the episode before this. You might want to wait to watch this one if you haven't seen that one. So to start out the show tonight, I just want to make mention of the tragedy that happened in Boulder, Colorado, a couple of days ago, where 10 people were murdered. And my heart goes out to the families and the loved ones of those who have been killed in that tragic incident. That was those things are senseless, and I know there's a lot of politicking going on in the government and everything about guns and different things, but what I really think is, instead of worrying about and I'm not picking one side or another, I know there's a lot of people really passionate about this topic, but I think before we worry about the gun issue, I think we need to worry about the mental health issue in this country, because a sane person, gun or not, they're going to figure out a way to kill somebody. I mean, an insane person, sorry. But a sane person, a responsible person, you won't have to worry about that. So we do have a problem with our mental health services in this country. Too many people don't get the care they need. Too many people are mentally ill and they don't have any other way to get better. Sometimes they just get tossed out on the streets. Sometimes they're all homeless, and it's really sad that instead of listening to people like me when they say we need mental health issues, they're just all about gun control and stuff like that. But if you look at some of the cities that have the toughest gun control laws, they're some of the worst cities as far as crime goes. So I don't think that stuff works. I think we need to we're just putting a Band-Aid on the problem when we talk about gun control. We're not doing anything about the reasons why these people are choosing to do this. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox, but yeah, I'm not sitting here trying to make excuses for people who do these things, because I would never do that. You're accountable for your own actions, in my opinion. But there's some people that are just sick. They're mentally ill and they need help. So, all right. And I saw a video. One of the viewers sent me a video last night. It's pretty late, and I watched it, and it was this guy, a YouTuber. Well, I don't know if he's even a YouTuber, but he is now, because he posted this video. But and it had almost 1 million views when I saw it. So he's going to the store, the King Superstore that this took place in, and he hears gunshots, and he's showing some of what's going on. He actually shows 2 people lying on the ground that apparently had been shot. And he goes inside, he's talking to a guy at the door. It really creeped me out about how casual everybody was being. There was another guy getting ready to walk in the store, and the guy behind the camera said, there's an active shooter in there. You might not want to go in there. And then the door greeter guy, I think that's who that was, he points inside the store, and there's another person laying there. So, and they didn't even, it was weird because they didn't do anything. Like, they didn't go check the person to see if they're still alive. It was really strange. And then I always said I wouldn't I wouldn't criticize other YouTubers, and I'll try not to, but this guy that was recording, man, the police were telling him to get back, and I know they have to do that. And I know the guy has rights to film, but they also have to set up a perimeter to keep people safe and to figure out what the situation is. So they're telling him to get back, and he's just swearing at them and telling them to, every which way but sideways where to go. And it was really, really sad. And I wonder how he felt when he found out one of those police officers had been killed. It didn't seem like and another side note to that, one of his friends apparently was trying to call him while he was filming all of this. And he was inside the store. He worked in there, and he ended up getting killed. So, and he didn't answer the phone. So take it like you want. I know another YouTuber said today or yesterday or whenever it was, talking about this same guy that recorded this, saying that the cops were in the wrong and all this stuff. But I didn't see them do anything wrong, to be honest with you. And I'm not Mr. Bootlicker cop lover all the time. I mean, I appreciate what they do, but I also call them out when they do something wrong. So anyway, that was a really hard video to watch. And I was going to show a portion of it tonight, but I thought, well, if you want to go watch it, you can go watch it. I'm not going to put it on here. I would have had to do a lot of editing anyways, like blurring out certain parts and bleeping out words, and I didn't want to deal with that. I got other stuff to worry about. besides that guy's video. But yeah, if you want to watch it, I'm sure you'll find it if they haven't taken it down by now. But I would think they would take it down because it was unedited and it was bad. So just my 2 cents on that. I feel really bad for all the people who lost family members. Yeah. All right. So last time we spoke about a lot about things that happened during the month of May 2020. And I spoke a lot about the Morphew girls and some of the posts I saw on social media of their actions before May 10th, which is the day their mother went missing, and where they might have been, because there was rumors that they were on a camping trip. First, it started out they were on a camping trip for a church, and we found out that wasn't true. And we also heard rumors that they were on a camping trip with one of Barry's sisters, their aunt. Then we found out that wasn't true. Then we heard they went to Idaho to go camping, and I don't think that's true. I mean, they might have made it to Idaho, but there's no proof of that I've seen. Excuse me. And I was getting a whole lot of this information off of a friend of Mallory's. Her name is Holly. And wouldn't you know, she made her her Instagram page private after my last show. So I've done that to a lot of people. Trevor, Noel, Sarah Noel, a few others. As soon as I do a video about it, it might just be coincidence, but I don't know. Didn't seem like it. When I talk about these people, then all of a sudden their presence just goes away. Presence on social media or the internet just gets scrubbed. So it's okay. I get screenshots of most of this stuff anyways. So, all right. So we left off, excuse me. We left off around the time Suzanne went missing. We didn't talk a whole lot about that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. I am going to pull up some Facebook pages. First, this is what I want to do first. I'm going to go here first. Let me get my other piece of paper out. So one thing that I did to try to figure out this all out was you heard, I don't know if you were listening, but you heard Trevor, that little animated guy that I made, that's animated Never Troll, I mean, because his name's Trevor Noel, so I named this guy Never Troll. So I created that little animation. So for one reason, there wasn't a video to it. Well, a couple of reasons. There wasn't a video to it. Plus, I wanted you to hear what he was saying. I'm gonna play that again real quick.
We are on a mission to find Suzanne. We're searching everywhere, nonstop, for any clues that will lead us to her. Please help us get the word out by sharing this post, remembering her face, and being vigilant and aware. And please, if you see or hear anything, call the tip line immediately. 719-312-7530. Even the smallest tip could be the one that gets us closer. All who know Suzanne know her as the most beautiful person inside and out. She's selfless, caring, kind, and loving. Family and friends are tired and hurting, but we're strong and will not give up looking until she's found. Please help us keep Suzanne's photo out there. The more people who see, the better. Thanks for your support from the whole Morphew family. Again, the FBI tip line, 719-312-7530.
All right, we're gonna watch Shirley's again. Did you catch some of the stuff he said? We are on a mission. We won't give up. Here's a Facebook post from Trevor's mother. What does it say right there? We will not, in all capitals, give up. Well, you know when Kelly is Barry's sister and Trevor's mom. You know when she gave up? I'll tell you. She gave up she was posting several messages about Suzanne every day. Several a day sometimes. And she says right there, what was that? Looks like May 18th. My eyes aren't as good as they used to be. That they will never give up. But she made it to June 7th, and then she never posted another thing. Well, I'll take that back. She posted one other thing. Let me show you. She posted something on September 28th. Just like after months and months of not posting nothing. And what she posted, I'm looking for it. So September 28th of 2020. Here it is. I can't show it to you because I don't have a screenshot of it, but it says it's what it is it's a press release from the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, September 28th, 2020. Contrary to some media reports, there have been no remains found in the Suzanne Morphew case. There have been a handful of potential leads that have been pursued as a result of the volunteer search. However, nothing has been identified as related to Suzanne's disappearance. Investigators will not comment on specific leads being investigated or other information connected to this case. You know what she said when she posted this? She put, people are crazy. Who the heck is she talking about? Who's crazy? Well, this is when Andy went out to search. So I don't understand who she thinks is crazy. Andy for going out and searching? So somebody underneath this said, totally crazy. I gave up fighting with them weeks ago. There's no convincing any of them that their delusions aren't facts. Okay, so let's think about what they're saying here. Some people, there was a rumor going around that Suzanne, some remains have been found. And that people were turning in leads and stuff like that. So why is that crazy? Why do they think that's crazy? They're out there searching for somebody that they supposedly love and nothing. They're not doing anything. So who's crazy? Yeah. Anyway, I don't understand. Okay, I'm gonna go through this, a couple of more of these relatives, and then I'm going to give you my opinion on something. Okay, Sarah Knoll. Y'all who know who Sarah Knoll is? No. Well, yeah, there is a Sarah Knoll that's married to Trevor, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Apparently, there's 3 Sarah Knowles. Believe it or not, there's Trevor's sister. There's Trevor's wife. I don't know who the other one is. I can't remember right now. But anyway, Sarah, she posted, her first post about Suzanne was May 14th. She posted several posts about Suzanne. The last one she posted was May 28th. Okay. Then there is another niece. That's Barry's niece. Then there's another one. You know what? Let me just share this screen. That way I can show you what I'm looking at. Okay. All right. So this is Barry's sister right here, Kelly. Kelly Gillum. Gillum. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share this, and I'm gonna scroll through this. First, I got to get to the right person. Here. All right. So here is Sarah. So there's the last post of Suzanne. It's interesting if you go through the comments. Everybody says praying, 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 praying. One thing I learned a long time ago, the Lord likes effort. You can't just pray and pray and pray and everything go away. You have to do some work too. I learned that a long time ago. My dad and a few others taught me that. All right. So her first post was May 14th, like I said. There's Suzanne right there and all of them. There's Shirley in there. There's Sarah. I don't know who the other people are, but there's Suzanne. Okay, so several times you see that all of a sudden, no, nothing. Well, there's a kid there, but then, I mean, okay. So the next one, you guys are going to see everybody I search for. Okay. I'll have to do it this way. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to go back to Kelly. She's got all the people on hers. Some people have them all hidden, but all these people are probably going to take this stuff off of here. So here's Alexis. This is Marcy's, Barry's sister Marcy's daughter. So this is Barry's niece. Let's see how many times she posted. She posted quite a bit more than the others. So, all right. First one, May 13th. She's calling her Aunt Sue. I never heard that before, but that's pretty cool. So there's a bunch. There's Barry and his baloney, plea, whatever. That's Trevor saying his little thing. So anyway, her last one was May 22nd. So I guess she didn't post more. I guess I was thinking of Kelly, but all right, there's 3 examples. The longest one that posted, the person that posted for the longest as far as time goes is Barry's sister Kelly. So what happened? And I could go through several more of those and tell you and keep going through them and show you all of them, but that's a waste of time because they're all pretty much the same. They all stopped. Hold on, let me check my phone. People blowing it up. Probably can't hear me for the last 30 minutes, but nope, nothing. So anyway, they're all pretty much the same. They all stopped around the same time. But why? Why did they stop around the same time? I don't understand. What happened? What did they find out around the end of May and the first part of June? I mean, just let's go to the Finding Suzanne Facebook page. This will tell you a lot. Okay, find Suzanne. All right. Trevor Knoll started this, I believe. Let's go to the bottom. All the way down to when it started. Man, that guy was gung-ho when he first came out of the gate, wasn't he? He was all over the media. Come and find her. He was all choked up. He was all saying she's the most beautiful person in the world. And I thought, man, this family, you feel bad for him, you know? So this must have started the same day as the GoFundMe, May 13th. So you got all these posts, right? Post every day. I mean, those are all still May 13th. That was all in one day what I just scrolled through. Still scrolling through May 13th. There's May 14th now. Let's keep going. All right, let's go to the top. Actually, okay. So May 17th, that's when Barry's video came out. And then what do you know? There wasn't anything until November 7th. What freaking happened between, well, first of all, Trevor's running this, right? So, okay. Let's walk through this pretty slow. See that video right there, Barry? I forgot I didn't share this screen again, but dang it. Sorry, guys. I'm sitting here looking at it and just describing it, and you guys can't even see it anymore. All right, let's do this again. So let's go all the way to the bottom. First one, May 13th. For a long time, he posted a lot of stuff on May 13th. I mean, there's May 14th now. It's a lot of stuff on May 14th. Then you get up here. There's May 16th. May 16th. All right. There's May 17th. This is when Barry put out, 1 week after his wife goes missing, he puts out a video. This, however many second video it is. 26 seconds it says on there. So do you know who made this video? Trevor Noel made this video. He recorded it. He probably wrote the script for it. This is only one, during this video was only one of two times. I thought it was only one time that Barry mentioned Suzanne's name, but he mentions it in this video, and he mentions it once when he's talking about the hotel room and there was a smell of chlorine. He said that had nothing to do with Suzanne disappearing. Well, I mean, he would know that, but that's the only two times that he said that. So anyway, getting back to my other point. So Trevor creates this page, right? Find Suzanne. Same day that he created the GoFundMe thing that now is all the money goes to Mallory Morphew. So he films Barry, puts this out. I don't know if they filmed it the same day, but he put it out May 17th. Okay. After May 17th, after he's around Barry and talks to Barry and records this video of him, right after that, nothing until November 7th. What did Trevor find out that day that he talked to Barry? What did he know? What did he figure out? What did Barry tell him? What caused him not to post on this Find Suzanne Morphew page again until the 7th? And when he did post, it says Find Suzanne Morphew updated their website address. So that's the only thing. He just wanted to tell everybody there's a different website address. Nothing about where's, anything that's been going on. Efforts to find his beautiful, beloved aunt that's been missing in November. That was what? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. That's 6 months. That's a long time, especially when you haven't given any information on this page that you created for her. So what do you guys think that Barry or that Trevor found out from Barry that day? Look at that face. Looked like he just ate a sour, like those things called sour heads, warheads. So he had to find something out that day because he went radio silent after that. I mean, not a peep, right? Nothing on pages. He distanced himself from everything. He actually took off on a cross-country trip after that with his wife in a Mercedes-Benz RV that who knows how much. Even if he rented it, it's still a boatload of money to rent one of those. I mean, there's pictures of him standing on top of it. I got some of them. I'll show them to you. Anyway, my point is, Trevor finds this out around the 17th, right? Whatever it was. This is my hypothesis. I don't have any facts saying it. I mean, of course, I don't know if Barry told Trevor anything, but I'm just putting pieces of a puzzle together. And this is what I'm coming up with. It just keeps coming back to this stuff. Okay, let's say Trevor found something out around the 17th, right? Then it trickles down to the rest of the family. So who quit posting first? Well, of the three that I told you about, Alexis found out first because she didn't post anything after May 22nd. And then May 28th, Sarah Knoll finds out. Or that's her last post. It took Kelly a while. She still may not know, but she did stop posting after the 7th of June. Why? What did they find out? What do they know? Did Barry say, hey, Trevor, cool it, man. I don't need no more attention. Maybe. What if there was something that Barry said? It was in an interview. Let me get this off here real quick. He said something in an interview with Lauren Sharf, not one of the ones that she recorded. Well, she did record it, but he wouldn't let her play it. And he said something really strange. I got a screenshot of it. Let me pull that up. And I'm sure a lot of you remember this, but I'm going to pull it up. So I'm going to load one. There's two different quotes that he had that really bugged me. I'm going to pull them both up. First, I'm going to have to load them up first. So bear with me. So here's one of them. It says, "This is the most devastating thing that has ever happened to me." Wow. But I've got to keep my faith and trust in God, and Suzanne trusted the Lord. And if one person got saved from this, she would think it was worth it. And we are just a godly, loving, caring family. And this thing is just a tragedy. I like how Lauren put that cross in the back. It's kind of symbolic that she put a cross when Barry's trying to make himself the victim in all this. Put himself up there. So I just may have to pull up that video and let you guys hear it for yourself because I can't find that other screenshot. But what it says is he's talking about how people don't know the truth. And let me get that direct quote. So okay, I'm going to share this. Hopefully you can hear it. Let me know if you can hear it. Not yet, but let me know when you can. Can you hear it? I don't know why you guys can't hear that. It's weird. Because there's a share audio button and I click it and you guys still can't hear it. But anyway, all right, I'm just going to go to the quote then. Here it is. Hold on. All right. So it says, that's the reason why I had you call me back. I am afraid of what is out there. People don't know the truth, so they're going to think what they're going to think. What? What is he afraid of? Does he think that he's going to get drug off by a bobcat? Or somebody's going to abduct him too? I mean, that's what he thinks happens, apparently. So what's he afraid of? Is he afraid of going out there and people are going to blame him? Well, if you're not guilty, you have nothing to worry about. So I wonder what this truth is that we don't know. You know, if he told us the truth, then it would really straighten everything out, wouldn't it? If people don't know the truth and he does, he should tell us what it is. Then we'd stop bugging him. Gosh, I mean, I don't get it. They found something out. I mean, there's no other explanation in my book. All right. So let's jump back into the timeline real quick. Let me get this off here. So there's some boring stuff. Well, not boring stuff, but I mean, there's stuff that you probably already know. And just bear with me if you do. Some people have probably never heard of this stuff. Excuse me. So all this stuff happened on May 10th where, you know, the girls were supposedly getting home late. Mallory and Macy. So they're trying to get a hold of their mother. They call Barry and say, hey, we can't get a hold of mom. We're getting worried. This is all according to Barry, by the way. And then so Barry tells them, why don't you call the neighbor, or he calls, I don't know which one it is. It's confusing the way that he describes it. So I don't know if he called the neighbor or if they did. I think he was staying as far away from this as he could. So he had the girls do it. So they called the neighbor and said, hey, can you go check on our mom? You know, go see if she's home or whatever. The weird thing I think about this is they tell her to go look in the garage and see if there's a bike there. I mean, wouldn't you say go ahead and go in the house and look around, see if you can find her? Or are her cars there? I mean, why was the first thing they thought of was a bike? I know why. Because that was all bull. That was all part of this cover up or whatever. So anyway, that all happened. Barry gets home like 9 o'clock that night. I don't know why it took him so long. How far is Broomfield from Salida? Broomfield, Colorado. I'm going to look it up on this old map. Directions. Let's say Maysville. Might not even come up. So little. Three hours. So I guarantee you those girls didn't wait until 6 o'clock at night to call their mother. And I know also from statements from Morgan and Jeff and all of them that Barry didn't stick around very long after he found all this out that Suzanne was missing. He just dumped his tools out of his truck and took off. So what took him so long? All right, so let's move on from the 10th. Suzanne's missing. The next day, search and rescue of Chaffee County, they start searching. I think they actually started searching that day. Well, yeah, I know they did because they found the bike and all that. So anyway, they start searching, but the next day I think they bumped up their search and it got a lot more intense. So I'm trying to pull up some details for you. Bear with me for a second. Okay, here's what I was looking for earlier. Dang it. I really wish I could play this and you guys could hear it, but I'll just have to read it. So what it says here is May 11th, Chaffee County Search and Rescue Teams, TAC Team, DOC, County Parks, or Colorado Parks and Wildlife, I guess that's what that means, and South Ark Swiftwater Rescue scour the area. That's May 11th. And also on May 11th, drones and different tracking and scent dogs deployed. Okay. So on May 12th, only dogs and drones are searching. On May 13th, the CBI and the FBI joined the search, and they joined the search and they dedicated a tip line to Suzanne, and 719-312-7530. May 14th, a personal item is found, and we believe it's what I think it is Suzanne's bicycle helmet. So on the 15th, a large grid search closes down Highway 50, and they searched a 2.5 mile area near County Road 225 and Highway 50. Sheriff's only press conference. So you can find that on, it's John Speasy. I mean, you can tell he doesn't do press conferences very often. May 17th, Pueblo Dive Team. They dive into Fooses Lake. And if you don't know where Fooses Lake is, let me show you. I've been there. It's sorry, I'm trying to pull it up on this map and I'm going to share it for you guys. I see it. It's just not marked. Okay, I got it. Now I'm going to share my screen. Okay, share. I need like a producer or something to help me out. Anybody want to apply for that job? It's not real. So here's Fooses Dam and Fooses Lake, right here. So that is, if you're gonna, gosh, why is this so small? There we go. So here's 225 that they were saying they closed down and all that. And the Morphew house would be like right over here, right under the South Arkansas River. Okay. So it's not very far at all from their house, what I'm trying to say. All right. So, and then after that, did I mention? Yeah, I think they said they did a large grid search. Dive team searches Fooses Lake on the 17th, same day that Barry makes that plea. And then residents are also asked that day to save any surveillance footage they have from their cameras, from businesses or their homes or whatever. They want to look at that stuff. I don't think anything major happened until they did that search on County Road 105 at that construction site. And then after that, they did a search of the Morphew house. Well, I think during that time they did. There's drone footage helicopter footage of them flying around. You can see Barry's Bobcat down there and all that stuff. So I don't know how I missed this, but during this interview that this newscast that Lauren Sharp did back in July, Troy Skinner gave an interview. I really wish you could hear his voice because I had no idea he sounded like this. But I can't play it because you guys can't hear it. So it says, "This is a terrible thing." This is a quote from Troy. "This is a terrible thing. The guy goes to work one day and the girls are doing their thing. One day, Mother's Day. And the girls are doing their thing. And in a matter of minutes or hours, what have you, somebody's family is turned upside down and their whole life is destroyed and turned upside down. And I just want them to have closure," Troy Skinner said. Skinner is a family friend and has known Barry since middle school. He visited the family twice after they moved to their Colorado home in Maysville. He described the family as a perfect family. Okay. This next quote cracks me up. "They were the modern day Little House on the Prairie." I don't think that he ever saw that show. I mean, everyone got along in that family. Well, they didn't on Little House on the Prairie. Haven't you ever seen that show? Skinner said Barry would go on hunting trips to get away. Get away from what? His perfect family? It was his solitude time, and it would re-energize him. During an elk hunting trip with Barry and Salida this past year, Skinner said he spoke with Suzanne about her health and having no hesitations in going on bike rides alone. Yeah, he just happened to ask her that. "Hey, you have any hesitations of going on a bike ride? Because, in like a few months, you're going to go missing, and I just need to know this for this interview." She did talk about her bike ride. She liked it. She felt safe, and she didn't feel threatened on them, Skinner explained. When Skinner learned that Suzanne didn't return from a bike ride, he immediately asked Barry what he could do to help. Unfortunately, in the beginning of the search efforts, his work schedule didn't allow him to go to Colorado. I didn't actually get to talk to Barry until 2 or 3 weeks into the ordeal. And the times we have talked, it's not questioning on what happened or anything. It's, "Hey, I'm here for you. And what can I do for you?" And letting him know that we care for him and the girls. "What about Suzanne?" Skinner added, "It's been 2 months, but he's still broken and the girls are having a hard time." "Oh, okay. Well, I can prove to you that they're not because I have pictures. I haven't spoken with them directly, but I've asked about them each time. He says it's very hard on everybody, and you can hear it in his voice when he is talking to you." You're going to have to imagine him saying this all in this thick Southern accent, which if he grew up in Indiana, I don't know where he got that accent. They don't talk like that up there. He describes the Morphews as the sweetest people you'd ever meet. Skinner said Suzanne would talk to you like you were the only person in the room. He added that there were never cracks in the relationship. I mean, somebody's pulling the wool over your eyes when they say they're the perfect family and there was never a crack in any relationship. Everybody has their rough times. I mean, you're going to tell me that somebody's been together with somebody for over 30 years and they've never had any problems? Come on, dude. Nobody's buying this. If Barry was involved, he would get his punishment, and that's the way it should be. But I would lose all faith in humanity because he just doesn't have that in him, Skinner said. It is very troubling that Suzanne vanished, if you will. And there's a lot of factors that are in play in this case that has come to light from my perspective. Oh, this is somebody else talking. Sorry, Dan. I thought you were still. So that's a guy named, a private investigator named Dan Corsentino. He talks a little bit more sensible. All right. So anyway, you get the, I just had to throw that in there because had no idea that that Skinner even got on here. Anyway, yeah, he's talked a lot on social media. If you don't know who Troy Skinner is, you're probably lucky. What did I say? I called him in that last cold call video, like a comment ninja. He swoops in and comments, and he just disappears into the shadows. That's what he does. All right. So what we've gone over so far is, where did I put my stuff? All right. All right. We're going to jump. I don't know what happens the 27th, 28th, and 29th, but I do know what Barry was up to on the 30th and the 31st, because that just happens to be when Tyson filmed him up in Salida. So for those of you who don't know what happened with Tyson and Barry, Tyson was up there. He was in Colorado, and he decides to go to Salida and just walk around and film around where Suzanne went missing and all that. And so he goes up there and he is walking around and he's filming like the road. And all of a sudden he goes by this parking lot at the trailhead where he parked his truck. And he sees a truck there with a Indiana license plate. And so he starts thinking, he told me this afterwards. He starts thinking after that, man, that could be Barry's truck, you know? And so he starts walking down this other road, and Barry drives past him. And he said he looked all wet, and he looked like he was really stressed out. He had somebody in the truck with him, and it was probably his mother, Shirley, because she was with him the next day. And so Tyson goes out there the next day because he wants to see if he can run into Barry, because he wants to talk to him. So Barry goes to drive by, and Tyson waves him over. So Barry gets out of his truck and comes and talks to Tyson. You can go to his channel and watch the video if you want to, but I do have the transcript, and because I transcribed it. See if I can find it. But anyway, so it's pretty interesting, all the things he says, and I'm sure most of you have seen it if you're watching this video. But it is interesting. Trying to look it up. Just bear with me for a second. Well, anyway, I don't know where the stuff is, but here's I can show you a picture of what Barry looked like when he was talking to Tyson. So here he is. That's actually his truck back there. His mom's driving it. He tells all kinds of crazy stories about bobcats and abductions and where him and his buddies have searched and all that stuff. So just go watch the video. It's at Tyson's channel. It's really interesting, the things that he says, the way he's acting. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's where he was until on May 30th and May 31st. And here's something that's interesting. May 30th. We're pretty sure that it wasn't his daughters with him on May 30th. And I'll just tell you why right here. Because they were doing something else on May 30th. So mind you, this is how many days? 20 days after Suzanne goes missing. There's the other one, May 30th. So they weren't, that's not, I mean, they could have been there later on, but that right there is over by Gunnison. Yeah. Anyway, this is what Barry's doing now, it looks like. Working out with this big mask on. It's almost time for some new hair plugs there, Barry. Looks like they're getting a little thin on the top. Oh, yeah, here's that picture of Barry driving by Tyson. See, it's raining on Tyson. And there they go. All right. So another thing I wanted to do tonight is I wanted to, this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but, I've been working on this for a while, and this is going to make a lot of people mad, especially people in Barry's camp. But it's just a theory. I don't have anything to prove this, but I'm going to throw it out there because I'm not the only one that thinks it, because I get messages about it. So let's do the what if thing, okay? Hypothetical scenario. So what if Barry didn't have to, what if he didn't kill Suzanne? I've thought about that a lot because I get on here and saying all these things about him. But what if he didn't? I'm not saying he didn't have anything to do with this whole situation, but what if he didn't kill his wife? So if he didn't, what happened? So what's the reason that her daughters are being so quiet? What's the reason they were gone on Mother's Day? I walk the dog every day, and I think about this almost every day that I'm walking. I think of some explanation of why her daughters wouldn't be pleading from the rooftops that, Mom, or if you're out there, come home, or if you have my mom, bring her home, or something. Show something that, you care that your mom's missing. So anyway, let's say, all right, I'm trying to tread lightly, I guess. So I might just have to come out and say what I'm saying, but let's just say it like this. I started the show off talking about mental illness, right? There's a lady here. Let me show you a picture of her. Let me load it up. Might just have to share my screen or something. So this lady right here. So this lady, she has bipolar disorder, and she thinks there are 3 clues to recognize mania in people's eyes. And what mania is, if you have bipolar disorder, there's 2 different phases you go through. Or states you were in. You're either manic or you're either depressive or in a depressive state. So you're either really overly happy or overly excited or you're depressed. So this person right here, this lady, I can't remember her name. Let me go back here and see if there's another one. Yeah, I think her name's Julie or something. But anyway, Julie Fast maybe. But it says, she says there's 3 clues to recognize mania in the eyes. So look at her eyes. She's showing you her eyes because she knows for a fact she's in a manic state when she takes this picture. So she says there's a sparkling eyes in euphoric mania. Euphoric mania often creates a shimmering quality to the liquid in the eyes. We sparkle. When I look in the mirror during a euphoric manic episode, I'm entranced with my face. I see no flaws. My skin is perfect. My eyes are brilliant. I see what look like silver shimmering flecks in the whites of my eyes when euphoric. People find this very attractive. We all know how easy it is to get a relationship when you're euphoric. How we look at people is a big part of this. We focus these sparkling eyes on our unsuspecting prey, and they are lost. Research is needed to assess if the changes are simply perception changes due to mania or if there truly is a change in the liquid coating of the eyes. So it says darker eyes and dysphoric mania. Once I started asking clients to notice eye changes in a loved one, I heard many stories of how dysphoric mania turned the eyes black. An eye doctor explained, "Oh, I'm not surprised by that. It's documented that adrenaline can make the pupil take over the eye. Mania sounds like it's something to do with adrenaline. So I would think the eye is the same color. But the pupil is huge. This creates the all black eye. And yet I don't see this in euphoric mania. What causes our eyes to change shape or look darker during dysphoric mania?" Then she goes on to say that the eyes change shape and a few other things. Well, the reason I bring this up is because I've been researching. Let me get this off here. I've been researching this case. And I don't want to say that Mallory Morphew is bipolar because I'm not a doctor or anything. But if you look at that lady's eyes that I showed you, and then you look at a lot of pictures, there's hardly any pictures that I've seen of Mallory Morphew that doesn't look like that. And I think she gets it from Shirley, because Shirley's got that same look in her eye. I'm trying to find that picture of Shirley. So, yeah, I know everybody's going to be saying, "Oh, you're saying that girls are crazy. You don't know." Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm trying to find another explanation. If Barry didn't kill his wife, what happened? What if there was an accident? What if there was a fight and somebody got hurt? See, look at her eyes. Now, if you look at any of these pictures that I had up, can't see her eyes in that one. I mean, she always has it. She always seems like she's in a manic state to me. Look at the eyes. I mean, there's hundreds of pictures. I might just have to show you all of them. So let's say that they go to their mom's house and they want to tell her, hey, we want to go camping with our friends. They go a week or so before Mother's Day and say, hey, we want to go the weekend of Mother's Day. Of course, it's going to hurt your mom's feelings or something, or it's going to make her feel bad or whatever. So maybe there's a little pushback on Suzanne's part, hurt her feelings or whatever. Maybe there was a fight. Maybe something happened. I mean, there's a, see if I can find it. There's a, trying to think of what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of pictures of the inside of the house. And if you go look at it, there's an upstairs and there's a pretty long fall. I mean, anybody could fall off there in a shoving match or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm trying to figure this out because obviously, according to Barry, he's innocent. So you got to look at all these other clues. That would explain this. So let's say that happened. What's she going to do if she accidentally hurt her mother? Or if she hurt another? I mean, people in manic phases can be unpredictable. They're impulsive. They can do things that they wouldn't normally do. Okay. I know a lot of people that have mental illness and they are unpredictable. They fly off the handle sometimes. Sometimes they act before thinking. So anyway, let's say something happened. What do you think she would do? Well, I know most young people would go to their other parent and say, please help me. I don't want to go to prison the rest of my life. I didn't mean to do this. Please, please. So let's say that did happen. So let's say that happened and then Barry was like, okay, you need to get as far away from here as you can. Okay, go. I'll take care of this. So then the plan starts forming, right? So if you go back and you look, I'm going to back up a little bit. There was something different with the relationship that Barry had with Mallory that he didn't have with Macy, according to what I've seen. Okay, I don't know. Of course, I don't know. There was also a different relationship that Suzanne had with each of her girls, of course. If you go to Suzanne's Twitter account, you can find it. It's easy to find. SR Morphew on Twitter. Go look at that stuff. Go look and see how many times that she mentions Macy and how many times she mentions Mallory, how many times she posts pictures of Macy and how many times she posts them of Mallory. Also, while you're there, look and see who's going on trips with Barry camping and stuff. There's only one of them. And according to Troy Skinner, that was Barry's solitude time to go hunting and stuff. So time to re-energize and try to get away. So he's taking one of the girls. But anyway, so I have no way to prove any of this, right? But I have been around mentally ill people to know something is very off, at least from looking at these videos and photos, okay? And I've seen her before her mom went missing, and I've seen her since her mom went missing. And she seems to be in a constant manic state all the time. Very over-exaggerated actions, smile from ear to ear all the time. And just days after her mom went missing, she's got extremely abnormal behavior. I'm just going to throw this. This is, I don't want to throw, actually, I'm not going to throw it out there. But there is a rumor going around about an incident that happened between Suzanne and Mallory. So I don't know if it's true, so I'm not going to put it out there. But here's some of the symptoms of bipolar disorder. Abnormal, upbeat, jumpy, or wired. Check. I've seen all those. Increased activity, energy, or agitation. Seen the energy and activity. Exaggerated sense of well-being and self-confidence, euphoria. I mean, looks like it. Decreased need for sleep. I don't know. Unusual talkativeness. Yeah, probably. I mean, it looks like it in a lot of the videos. Racing thoughts. I have no way to know that. Distractibility. I mean, I don't know that either. Poor decision making. For example, going on buying sprees, taking sexual risks, or making foolish investments. So here's where all this leads, in my theory at least. I believe sometime after the May 4th video that I showed of Mallory dancing with her roommate Holly, and the May 6th video by the Utah sign that Suzanne died or was killed or whatever. I believe that's the time in between those two. And I believe Mallory, this is just a theory, okay? I mean, I don't have any, like I said, just hypothetical. I believe Mallory might have been responsible for that, whether by accident or anger or whatever. And then, like I said, she probably begged Barry to help her. And I believe Macy probably doesn't have any idea about any of this if this was to happen. I believe that she's convinced somebody kidnapped her mom, or she ran off with another man or something. She probably believes the latter, and that would explain like a lack of effort for her to find her mom, or lack of emotion, if she's been convinced or brainwashed that her mom was being unfaithful, because that has come up in a lot of the comments in a lot of these videos or these posts or whatever. So anyway, so continuing, I have some notes over here, so I'm referring to them. So, all right. So remember back, so back before Barry let Lauren play the audio of the interview, right? There was a newscast and an article where Barry said people don't know the truth. I talked about that earlier. So why would he say that? I asked that earlier. Why would he say that? So if you put that quote in with this theory or this scenario that I'm presenting here, that makes a lot more sense why you would say that. People don't know the truth, so they're going to say what they're going to say. I'm afraid of what's out there. Maybe he's afraid that his daughter's going to go to prison the rest of her life. The truth is that he didn't do anything to cause this, but he had to help to save his daughter's life. I don't know. I'm just trying to put pieces together, people, and you can bash me for it or whatever, but I'm trying to figure it out just like anybody else, and I don't know, just like nobody else does except for whoever's responsible. So, but that implies, when he says that implies he knows the truth, like I said earlier. And if other people knew it, they wouldn't be blaming him for killing Suzanne. I think I might have said that earlier. It could be just a strange way of him claiming his innocence, but I don't think it is. So if Suzanne was killed on the 5th or the 6th, why wait until Mother's Day to put the cover-up plan into action? So this is why I think. First, I think the girls needed an alibi, or the girl needed an alibi. Camping out of state works for that. Second, I think Barry needs to make 100% certain there's nothing left behind that could end up as evidence. And he did a apparently, if this happened, he did a pretty good job because he's still running around out there, and it doesn't seem like they're any closer to figuring this out. So next, he needs to come up with an alibi of his own. This is where he didn't do a good job, I don't think. So what do we know about his actions on the days before May 10th? So number one, according to Morgan, he was not himself while they worked together. I mean, he was acting really weird, really strange. I don't know if she's talking about Friday or Saturday, but it was one of those days. I think she said Saturday, but she also said he quit working one day at 11 to go hiking or biking with Suzanne. And for me, this statement's huge, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes people say things and then inadvertently tell on themselves, for a lack of a better phrase. And I think Barry did that when he said that. Let's say Suzanne was already dead, what was he really going to do that day? So did biking refer to him setting up that bike to be his alibi? Is that why he mentioned biking? Did hiking with the wife, that's what he said, to make the wife happy? Did that mean he said with the wife? So usually when people are distancing themselves, they're trying to dehumanize people by not saying their name. Like I said earlier, Barry only said Suzanne's name twice that I know of, at least in public or in media. Only said her name twice since she's been missing. So if he says her name, then it makes her human again. It makes what he's doing much worse in his eyes, probably. So when he mentioned hiking, was he hiking into the mountains to get rid of her body? I say, if this scenario is correct, yeah, it's probably why he said that. You know, people don't do that consciously. I mean, you don't consciously try to tell on yourself when you did something, but are you going to do something? So that night that Mary Branson heard him, I believe that Barry was at that job site late that night to retrieve his bobcat because he had to use it to bury her a little bit better, or bury whatever was left of her body. I don't even like talking about that part of it. So the Broomfield job, that was a sloppy alibi. Like I said, he didn't do a very good job with that one. But it was the only reason he could come up with to be away from Suzanne on Mother's Day. And it's still, I mean, it was the best he could do, but it's still because of people like Lauren Scharf and, questioning about the Broomfield wall and that stuff. That was a really good video because she found out that you can't even work on the weekends without a permit. And she found out a bunch of other really good information. So if he wasn't burying Suzanne in the mountains or whatever, I think that she quite possibly could be under that wall. I really do. I mean, why else go up there, get those caps off the thing? I mean, there's a guy that sends me stuff. His name's Martin. He sends me stuff a lot. He sent me some illustrations he did. Let me see if I can find them. But one of them just blew me away in his description of it. But I'll talk about that later. But anyway, so it's the only way he could think about to get away from Suzanne on Mother's Day. He wasn't thinking of all the little details that would come back to bite him in the butt later. He wasn't thinking about all that. He just needed to be as far away as he could with a reason to be there. So that was a reason. That was a crappy reason, and it sounds ridiculous that he would do all that stuff, but what else was he going to do? I mean, he couldn't be there. Like, hey, my wife went missing. on a bike ride, but I'm sitting at home, okay. But if he's 3 hours away, yeah, it might be a little bit more unbelievable or a little bit more believable, especially if he has his workers up there that can vouch that they saw him up there. He didn't know that they were going to say, oh, yeah, he was there, but he was doing this and it was that, and bring up all this other stuff. He thought that they would just be falling in line. And then he sends Trevor and George to try to intimidate Morgan, say, hey, we'd give you your paycheck, and you don't have to turn your phone over to CBI and all this stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm not even going to look at the comments right now because I don't know how many of you are saying I'm nuts and that's crazy. But give me a better explanation of the actions of, first of all, her girls and the things Barry's saying and the things he did. Give me a better explanation. I'll listen. I would love to hear it. I haven't heard one yet. You know, I've heard a lot of crazy theories. Mine's no more crazy than that. I mean, a mountain lion, an abduction. Even Puckett said, what, an alien abduction? Even Puckett knows that that's far-fetched. So if you go back to Mike King's, one of his very first videos on Profiling Evil, he talks about victimology. And one of the things he says is she was not in the high-risk category for something like this to happen to her. I mean, she wasn't on drugs. She wasn't like a sex worker. He names all these things that would put her in a high-risk category. She was none of those. She was in a small, it's not even a town. I mean, when I got there, there's no cell service. Once you get off the 50, there's no paved roads. It's all dirt. I mean, there's nothing out there. It's not even a town. Really, it's not. It's just a little spot on the road. So, middle of the day, that's not high risk. It shouldn't have happened. It didn't happen the way they said it did. All right, I'm going to brave it and jump into these comments, see what you guys got to say. All right. Gil. I love hearing from Gil. Thank you, Gil. Dusty, I think it's very possible. I always thought she was in that wall. I wish they'd go back and check again. Okay, let me get this. Since you mentioned that, I'm going to go back. I'm going to pull up this picture. From my good friend. Well, I don't know him that well, but it's Martin. Okay, so let me download this and I'll post it. And I'm going to read to you what he said about this. There's a lot of people that do research in these cases, but man, he's got Excel spreadsheets and all kinds of stuff written up about all this. That's pretty amazing. All right. I showed you something similar to this, I think, on the last show, but let me see. All right. So I'm going to pull this one up over here so I can read it while you're looking at this. These are the questions he asks, and these are the comments he makes on this. He says, why did Barry go to Broomfield so early? Let's forget for a minute that it was Mother's Day and Suzanne was home alone. This wasn't Barry's first rodeo. He has been doing this work for over 20 years. So why did he go so early? He said that he wanted to get there early to organize and prep the job for his workers. This was a retaining wall with a capping varying from 2 to 8 blocks high, held together with reinforcement GeoGrid, fairly straightforward job. This is if you had the materials and the tools to do the job. Extra block, wall rock fill, and GeoGrid to increase the height of the wall, and the tubes of adhesive to stick down the capping. The cappings, extra cappings for the ones damaged while removing them. Tools you'll need are bobcat, con saw, I don't even know what half of this stuff is, laser, plate compactor, and hand tools, brushes, shovels, etc. Jeff and Morgan said that they didn't have either the right tools, machinery, or materials to do the job. So why go to the job at all? There was no point. The client said that there was no urgency with the job. That's that Miller guy. That I forgot his first name, but this job, there was absolutely no preparation for this job. Why call Morgan at 4 a.m. on Mother's Day morning to organize a crew to go to Broomfield that day with no notice? He was working with her on Saturday. Why not say it then? There's more to this than meets the eye. To be honest, I first thought that Barry went to Broomfield at 5 a.m. early Mother's Day as an alibi and possibly framed Jeff Puckett. The only rational reason that makes any sense was to dispose of her body, where I suppose it could be anywhere between Puma Path and Broomfield, but the only place we know for a fact that Barry did any digging was at the Broomfield wall, without any special work permit or anyone to sign off on the work. That's a good point. There would have been a record of him doing that if he would have got a permit or permission or whatever, or anybody signed off on it. So if they don't know what he did there, then that makes it better for him. Said the Broomfield wall. If you look at the video that Lauren Scharf did on Broomfield, I told you she did a good job on this. On Broomfield at 6 minutes and 52 seconds, you can see where Barry removed the cappings with the Bobcat, and you can also see that the rock wall infill was missing and was tipped onto the cappings that were removed earlier. It looks to me that the section of wall was removed completely and possibly the foundations. If Suzanne was entombed in a concrete pipe, she could have been placed below the foundation. This is a very strong possibility. I'm going to have to take his word for it because I don't know what half of them words that I just read mean, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Look at this. He digged it. He illustrated this. It's pretty intense. I'm going to have to go back and watch that video that he was talking about. He says that's 6 minutes and 52 seconds of that. It's the video where Lauren talks about the Broomfield wall a lot. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to go back to the comments now. So this is interesting. I keep putting the wedding in the back of my mind. So it says, I still say Barry took Suzanne to Broomfield on Saturday under the pretense of watching the Zoom wedding. She wouldn't have the chance, the wedding viewing with the bad internet at home. From there, I don't know what you said after that. But yeah, we've talked about this before. The wedding was her best friend Sheila's daughter's wedding, and it was on Mother's Day. So this very well could have been the case. That could have happened. Who knows? I mean, that would be a way to get her up there. You're right. So it all adds up. I always thought was the girls and money might been a fight over mom having cancer. Get Mallory, get rid of the problem. They supposedly moved there to be close to Mallory. So this is another thing I thought of. I'm glad you mentioned this. So all the extra attention they were given to Mallory, there had to be a reason for that. Like I said, you go to Suzanne's Twitter page, It's all about Mallory. There's hardly anything about Macy on there. You go look at it. I mean, I ain't making this up. And Barry took her on all the trips, right? So I think that might have been because she had problems. You know, she needed extra attention. I think she might have started having problems when she moved out to Colorado by herself to go to college. And they thought, okay, what are we going to do now? So we might as well move out there and be around her and maybe try to figure this all out and help her. Doesn't everyone think that the FBI has done some serious digging and put everyone in a timeline? Yeah, I would think so, but I can't see it, so I got to do my own. I wish they'd show it to us. That'd be awesome. Yeah, this could very well be the case. There's ways to do that. I mean, Barry would know. He's a hunter. You got to get rid of a lot of the excess stuff. Yeah, I did at times, Daniel. It did have access, but it's spotty for sure, depending on where you're at. Didn't Lauren interview someone from the higher up company and said there was not even materials ordered for this job? Yeah, and supposedly it was one of Barry's buddies from Indiana. His last name is Miller. I don't remember his first name. Well, I mean, maybe it was somebody different, but yeah, his buddy's the one that hired him for that job. So I don't know. Barry didn't sell his truck, and he bought a new one, but he didn't get rid of his old one. He still has it because I've seen it. I have video of it since he supposedly got his new one. So. Yeah, I do. I do remember that. Let me get. I forgot this thing was up here still. Sorry. Sure, y'all don't want to look at that all night. Yeah, there's a lot of suspicious areas. There was a few pointed out on Reddit, and they used my drone video to point them out. So I'm glad that people are using that to do that. I'm just a little old lady from Texas who loves Suzanne, and like all of here, she's made a friend who wants to see justice. Mrs. Long is my name. Nice to meet you. Well, hello, Mrs. Long. I know you're talking to Juke, but I'm glad that you're here. Sorry, I'm reading comments. I'm not sure she is in the wall. I think the wall is by a sidewalk. Too much traffic. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but she probably, when she got there, what the body looked like probably didn't look like a body at that moment. And there probably wasn't a whole lot of traffic early on the Sunday, but I mean, I get your point. That'd be stupid, but Very thought-provoking discussion. It is possible Barry is manic depressive. I think this mental illness runs in families. Yeah, from what I can gather, just by the pictures and videos, Shirley might not be all there. Just say it like that. Man, I don't know what I should say about this. I'll tell you this. I didn't see firsthand what happened because we got to the racetrack. I was hungry. I hadn't ate all day. And I told Tyson, I'm going to go take a few pictures and video, and then I'm going to go get something to eat, and I'll bring you something. He was standing there talking to, there's a guy, that guy that got his picture taken, talking to Barry that everybody thought was Tyson. I forgot his name, but Tyson knows him. So anyway, they're talking. I come back from getting food, and Tyson's not nowhere to be found, and I can't get him on the phone. So I go walking around, and I see him walking with like cops. So I go over and say, what's going on? And he starts telling me about this cop that put his hands on him and stuff. I'll just tell you the story I got that night from Tyson. First of all, I'm going to preface it with saying that guy should have never put his hands on Tyson. That was wrong. But what actually happened that I remember him telling me that happened, because I wasn't there, like I said. He told me that guy told him to find a seat, and when he didn't, the guy grabbed him by the shoulders and pushed him down in a sitting position. So that's a little bit different from what I heard people saying that he said happened, but maybe I misunderstood. I don't know. But I do know we went and sat in the police station for like 2.5 hours to file a complaint, and nothing was ever done. So, I mean, I don't know the laws backwards and forwards, but I do know that they're not supposed to put their hands on you unless they have a reason. So Tyson wasn't very happy about it, I'll tell you that. Bothered him for a long time. Apparently it still does. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I mean, I'm just telling you what I know. Not trying to call nobody out or nothing. If you ask me a question, I'm not gonna tell you something just to tell you. Yeah, I didn't like it there, to be honest with you. Seems like a good old boy thing going on there with the police, but they didn't want to hear us. And even when we pulled into the parking lot, we were apparently in the police parking lot, like where they parked their cars, and we didn't know when we got out, and the cops got real crappy with us, yelling at us. And so, yeah, anyway. So ask yourself these 2 questions. Why did he leave so early, either 4 a.m. or 5 a.m.? And why did he want the crew there when he knew there was no materials coming? Good questions. Why didn't he send them home or ask them to stay at home? Barry didn't need the crew to be there for his alibi, so why did he want them there? It's a good question. No. Gosh, man, I didn't want to answer all these questions. No, that cop wasn't related to Skinner. That was a guy. No, he wasn't. Didn't have nothing to do with that guy. None of that. That would have been a heck of a plan to go into action for that all to go down the way that it was said it did. So, and I told Tyson that when he posted that theory to me, I told him that then, and I'll tell him that now. Like, I didn't think it happened. I mean, if he believes that, that's fine. He can. But I just tried to tell him that it didn't. I don't think it happened that way. So, no, he didn't. He didn't show anything because there's no video of any attack. So that's not true. He showed the guy walking past him after he said he got attacked. That's not true. So don't believe everything that pictures show you because they can be wrong sometimes. So I'll just say it like that. I'm not trying to, like, you guys are asking me questions that I don't feel I really want to answer because I don't want to stir up any trouble, but I'm also not going to let things slide on my channel that aren't true. So maybe I should just quit reading these comments. This is true. He doesn't even work in that county. So I don't really want to get off on this subject anymore. So I'm going to just skip it. No, I mean, no, I don't have any ill will towards him. I just feel like we work better separate. I can do what I want to do and he can do what he wants to do. Sometimes it's hard to work with family. And I'm not saying that it's one way, it's one sided either, because I'm sure it was, hard for both of us to work together. We're on opposite ends of the country, first of all. So, we have different philosophies of what we wanted to do. Things happened that we didn't agree on. And I made the decision. I told him I was just going to start my own channel. He didn't do anything. I just said, I'm going to do it. So, I mean, that's fine. We're always going to be brothers. We're always going to love each other. That doesn't mean you have to always, do everything together. So, sometimes people see things differently as far as situations that happen. Some people think that things one way, some people think the other way. This has really rubbed me the wrong way, though, this stuff that about the Indiana trip, because I was there and my name was mentioned when the story was being told. And I talked to Tyson about it after he had the show. And I tried to remind him of certain things. And we talked about it. And we just agreed to disagree, I guess. But I'm just telling you what I remember. So anyway, I didn't want to get into the whole, I love my brother and I don't want anything but good things for him. I just don't, we're not working together anymore. So, and that's fine. And I hope he does good and I hope everything goes well for him. But I just would rather start from square one and build my own stuff. So you can take that for what it's worth. All right. And don't take this as I'm trying to bash him because I'm telling the truth. I mean, like I said, he might see it that way, and that might be his truth, the way he sees it. And I'm just telling you what I know. And I don't like when things get overinflated and like a mob was sent after Tyson and that we were in danger and we were going to die. That was never the case. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, I don't know if you guys think I haven't read enough of these comments. Oh, there's my bro Todd. Oh, there's my nephews. Yeah, I miss you guys. That's my nephew Bryson, and that's Trayson right there, his little brother. Little cuties. He has another son, Joshua. He's an adult now. I miss that dude too. Anyway. Todd's the baby of us. He's the baby brother. He's probably the most sane out of us all, though. Yeah, back to Barry. Okay, so if not, let me read this. Mary Lou, where do you think Suzanne is? Honestly, I have no clue. And I'll tell you why I think that. Because when I went up to Salida in October, I drove into Maysville, drove down 225. I stopped in this vacant lot type of thing where it looks like they were going to build a house at one time. I got out of the SUV and I looked around and I couldn't believe how vast everything was. And the first thought I had was she could be anywhere, absolutely anywhere. And it was an overwhelming feeling. And it was like, how are they ever going to find her? And it was after the search that Andy put together. And I was like, no wonder they didn't find anything. Look at this place. So, yeah, I don't have any idea. I think one theory is just as good as the next. I don't know. There is very, very little to find on her boyfriend, JP Forsboard. I think that's his name. Nothing that I've found. There was a video on one of their pages where Mallory was in the hospital at the end of 2019. And somebody was kissing her on the head. I would assume it was her, but I was wondering, what was she doing in the hospital? So, yeah. I don't know what footage you're talking about, but yeah, it was. I mean, I did fly drone footage over their house and over the Poncha Springs place too. But before that, there was a helicopter that flew over when they were doing the search. So I don't know if you're talking about that. Yeah, I think he means. I think it says sometimes Barry talks like their lives are all in danger. When he says stuff about at least someone was saved from all this, I think he's talking about saved as far as like Christians are saved. I think that's what he's talking about. But I don't know how somebody can be saved from what is going on here. Like it doesn't. I can't put that together. I can't reconcile what he's talking about there. So. Yeah. Oh. All right. I'm going to have to start wrapping this up. I'm still working hard on this case. I'm still trying to mine the little nuggets of information. I wasn't really even planning on talking about this theory tonight, but I just felt like I should because I want to get it out there and maybe you guys can take what I got and or what I presented and maybe talk me out of it or give me something that I'm missing or whatever. Because I have a lot of people that reach out to me and talk to me about these cases, and I really appreciate it. I sure hope I'm wrong on this. I don't want that to be the case, but I also want to find the truth. I don't want to. You guys can't see me. Melody says you can't see me. I don't know. No, I don't know why she did. Nope. Maybe somebody she knew was addicted to something. I mean, if you want to, you can go find plenty of rumors about that. I'm not going to mention them here because I don't want. If somebody is an addict, I don't want to shame them or anything because I've had problems with that in my life. But there might be somebody in her life that she was worried about. Usually, addicts aren't the ones going looking for those pages, though. I'll tell you that. Usually, it's family members of addicts. Addicts don't care to look at pages to get in recovery unless they're rock bottom. So, anyway. Well, I'm glad you guys can see me. Sorry that you couldn't see me, Teresa, or whoever that was. Not Teresa. Who was that? Somebody couldn't see me. So, oh, Melody. Hope you can see me now, Melody. Morgan and Jeff know more, but they probably don't even know it. You know, there's a lot of people that I could give a list of people that I would want to talk to if I was an investigator that I think that are the keys to this case. There's a handful of them. I would first talk to Mallory for obvious reasons of what I stated today. Second, I would talk to Suzanne's best friend from Indiana, the one that was supposedly talking to her on May 9th. I'm not sure that was taking place, but might have been. Yeah, there's a few more, but they're probably the obvious ones. You know, there's a reason why people like Cassidy Cordova and Cody Lambert are so loyal and they don't talk to anybody about this except when they make comments on social media. I believe they know more than what they're saying. George Davis would be one at the top of my list. That guy's like a ghost. I don't know where he's at. He's hiding in the camouflage from them 400 tours or whatever it was. Oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 hours. Golly. All right. I probably got to go. I've been off for 3 days from work. I took some time off. Tiffany and Charlie and I went hiking in this really awesome place. Charlie went like a week or so ago with some of his homeschool classmates, and Tiffany and her friend went too, the mother of the boys, and they named all these little spots, and Charlie was telling me about them for a long time, and he wanted to go there. And so I told Tiffany, I'm just going to take, Monday off, but I ended up taking Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday off because I just needed a break and I wanted to really be prepared for tonight. I still wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be, but that's just probably going to be how it goes while I'm working full time. The other day, I woke up Well, actually, it was at night, I think, and my parents were asking me. I was talking to them on the phone. They said, "Well, how many subscribers you got now?" I said, "I don't know. Let me look." And it was like 400 less than I had like an hour before. I don't know. There's some glitch in the YouTube or something, but it fixed itself. But we're up to 1515, which is pretty dang good, I think. But 1516, I gained one through the show, so that's great. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. I was trying to post earlier a promo I had from Cinnamon and I taking a walk, and this morning, and posting that for a promo and telling you what I was going to talk about. But my computer kept crashing on my editing software, so I'm gonna have to check that out. But anyway, I always enjoy reading y'all's comments, and I wish I could do more of it, but I talk too much. I need to hush and answer your questions. But I appreciate you all being here, and just don't go back to Tyson's channel and say I was talking smack or something. I don't want to cause any friction or anything. I just want to keep the peace and do our own thing. And yeah, just let us. I mean, we're still both trying to do good, so that's all that matters. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to have part 3 ready to go. I'm thinking I'd probably do some calls. You guys gave me some ideas of who to call next, so I'm going to do that. Yeah, I am tired, Therese. I am tired. I got up like really early this morning to get going. I took the dog on a walk, raked leaves, did a bunch of other stuff. Went and got the car's registration updated. A bunch of stuff. I am wore out. So I'm going to go rest. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios.